upcoming players to give them some exposure and some experience so that your team is always building from year to year.
That's pretty good.
It's great.
Coach, how many returnees do you have? Was it a young group last year? Did you graduate a big 8th grade group? Like, how many returning starters do you have?
So I lost 6 8th graders last year. Only 2 returning starters from last year's starting group. 12 returning to the team and 6 newcomers. So it's kind of a rebuilding year as far as the starting team, but a lot of young players are really stepping up. Yeah.
And as far as the number of games, how many games y'all play in a season?
Yeah, so we have 7 games that are district games, and then we can add more as needed. So this year we do rotation, so it only have 3 home games with 4 away games. So I scheduled 3 more home games just to have that exposure.
And when you schedule these district games or parish games, how far, you want to branch out? Is it like maybe going to Terrebonne Parish, or you try and go a little further if possible?
We reach out to locally first if we can. St. Mary's has a team that we enjoy playing against. They're very competitive. We reach out to Terrebonne Parish as well. We see other teams in our tournaments. We participate in tournaments at Central Lafourche High School and Thibodeau Middle School, and we see a wide variety of teams at those tournaments.
Coach, after playing your summer schedule, what would you identify as some of your strengths, and what are some of the things y'all are working on before the start to the season?
I think our strengths are our hitters and our setter. We have a really good setter who's a current 7th grader. She has a lot of potential. We see her going really far, even into high school. Our defense is probably where we need some work. Sure. And the tempo of the game. The girls, this is by far the best group of girls I've ever coached. Their love for the game, their first sport is volleyball. They come ready and eager to learn every day they come. They're very coachable. They're easy to coach. I enjoy coaching them. I'd want them to stay this age forever if I could. But the tempo of the game, speeding up the tempo of the game is really what we're working on.
How many years have you been coaching at Lockport?
So I coached 20 years ago at Lockport as my first coaching experience. I coached there for a couple of years, and I coached at Central Lafourche for a couple of years. And then I stepped aside to have a family, and actually my oldest daughter is the one who got me back into coaching. I coached recreation for a little while, and then at Lockport Middle School, Coach Kim Parr stepped away, and my daughter was playing there, and they were looking for a coach. So I dipped my toe back in, and we're 3 years later. So
that's really cool. And you talk about that 20 years ago when you were first doing it. There were not all these rec leagues and playing summer, and the sport has grown so much locally since then.
Yes, and we've definitely seen the growth in players at the middle school level, which is also helping the high schools. Becky Toops at Lockport Recreation is running a great program in the summer that girls are getting that experience. We have quite a few travel teams in our area. We have LA6, we have Thibodeau Regional Rise, a lot of other ones in the area, and the girls are really learning to love the game and gaining those foundational skills at a younger age, which is great.
And I'm sure it has to make you proud where you see these girls on your level then going to the next step at Central Lafourche and having success, because Central's volleyball program's been in the playoffs last few years.
That's right. I think all of our middle schools are contributing to that. Raceland, St. Mary's, Bayou Blue, you hear from, those ladies later. It's really helping Central Lafourche, and it's a lot easier at the middle school level when they're coming with those foundational skills already there and a concept of the game. It's a lot easier on us to prepare them for that high school level.
And how much of a difference is it with coaching high school and now back with middle school?
I enjoy middle school coaching. It's not as stressful as that, varsity coach. JV in ninth grade is fun to coach too. I enjoy taking players at the base level and growing them as much as I can before they get to the high school. I think I want them to love the game as much as I love the game. Being a player and then a coach, that's the part I love the most, is watching them grow.
And how much has that helped you as being a player, a former player, to go and teach the game to younger kids?
I think I understand where they're coming from. I'm not knowing anything and need to know that base foundation to be successful at the next level. I think being a player has helped me tremendously.
How was last season for the ladies? Where did you guys finish in the parish race?
We were not at the top. We were midway. We had an even season in district. We were below 500. It was a rough year. We had a lot of injuries at the front line that I think really affected us towards the latter end of the season.
Good deal.
And some tough teams. I mean,
Absolutely.
the district is very tough.
Well,
Absolutely.
look, the teams in our area are getting tough because they have all these rec leagues now where the teams that if you don't have a rec league in your feeder programs, you're kind of missing the boat.
Yep, and the travel teams,
Yes.
taking advantage of the opportunities in our area. The competition is tough, which is great. It's great to go and compete.
So one more time, Lady Pirates playing next week.
We play Edie White on Monday. This week we have a scrimmage against St. Mary's on Thursday at 6 o'clock at Lockport.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Most of the parish matches, are on Mondays, correct?
Correct.
So what does the weekend look like? Like I know football, they'll have a Thursday walkthrough before a Friday game. Do you bring them in over the weekend before the Monday?
Yeah, if we have Monday games, we usually have an hour and a half practice on that Sunday, just a walkthrough and getting them ready because we don't practice on Fridays because of other commitments. So I don't want them to go 3 or 4 days without touching a ball and have a big match on a Monday, right? So sometimes we do have those Sunday practices.
Good deal.
Coach, thanks so much for the time this evening. Best of luck in the upcoming season, and we'll be chatting in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that was Coach Brandy Mathern, head volleyball coach at Lockport Middle School. Does a great job in getting these feeder schools up to the Lady Trojans.
I got to tell you, man, I watched some middle school volleyball in our area last year. They look like the high school players when I was in high school 20, 25 years ago. The sport has grown so much. The players are so much more talented. And it's because of exactly what Coach Mathern was talking about. The players are just playing younger. They're playing more often, playing year-round, and it is spilled over. I mean, you mentioned Central Lafourche, Coach Wells, and they have a great program out there, and it's because of the successes of the feeder programs that are feeding them those players every year.
Big difference, big difference. So let's go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we're going to keep talking volleyball, but this is going to be Raceland Middle School Cub volleyball right after this on KLEB. And welcome back to Inside Trojan Athletics on KLEB 102.7 FM, 1600 AM. Also, you can get it on our YouTube channel, Coastal Broadcasting Network YouTube channel. You go ahead and stream it, and you get to see Casey and myself on TV. It's always a good thing, huh?
Picking on me, man. For what?
Always a good thing. Let's go ahead and thank Bex on the Bayou for hosting us again with 4293 LA1 here in Raceland, where we're going to be here till about 8 o'clock or so talking some Trojan and middle school sports. State Representative District 55 Brian Fontenot, Como Plumbing, A1 Bail Bonds of Louisiana, and Raceland Auto Center. Next, we're going to talk with Coach Alan Wiltz, head football coach at Raceland, but we're going to talk a little bit volleyball to start us off. Coach, how are we doing this evening?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good. We're doing well. Coach, let's just talk a little bit. You also, the AD, correct?
Yes, sir.
Racing. How has the volleyball season started for you guys?
Well, we've had a pretty good start. We had a lot of summer league stuff that the kids who had not so much experience be able to get some that something that they haven't had in a while. This is a really, really athletic team, but they just didn't have the reps when it comes to like live game stuff. So having that summer league stuff in Thibodaux Middle School really helped them develop. And then we had some kind of opening matches against Oaklawn and Lockport, which they won both of those matches. So it was a great start to the season. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do in district or Lafourche Parish play.
And as middle school volleyball as a whole, can you just see it, the talent, the coaching's improving, it's just overall getting better?
Well, it's a commitment from these volleyball coaches. I mean, they went from just having a month or 2 or 3 month sport. Now they're really working on for almost 6 months, you know, when you count in what they're doing in June and July, and even parts of August, which we really didn't have Lafourche Parish games until September time. So they're putting 3 months of work in before the rest of the parish kind of kicks in. And it shows. I mean, like, there's a lot of back and forth between these teams, and it's not just Edie White and LCO anymore. I mean, I know Lockport's always had a really solid team, but you would never hear of Raceland even winning games in the years past. And that's a lot of that goes to Miss Dumez and, you know, what she's been doing with Raceland. And you see it up and down the parish, though. It's amazing, like, the competitiveness that these girls are really doing nowadays.
Speaking, you got a volleyball?
Yeah. I was going to say, your girls' sports programs as a whole at Raceland have kind of been on the ups. I know girls' basketball's been winning more games, volleyball. Feels like it's been a point of emphasis to kind of grow those girls' programs, correct?
Yes, and, you know, you can't do that without coaching and the commitment from the girls, and they've both kind of done what they need to do to get us up on the rise. You know, a few years ago, we didn't have any wins on the girls' volleyball side or basketball side. And now we're in the middle of the pack, but I mean, you go from nothing to something.
Heck yeah.
It goes a long ways. And hopefully we can kind of use that to kind of propel us going forward in the, years coming in. It just got to have it from the sixth grade level on. I mean, I wish we had a little bit better recreation available in Raceland area when it comes to youth basketball especially. But for now, I think we're heading in the right direction as much as we can with, AAU being available to the girls and some of the rec leagues that are nearby.
And speaking of winning programs, let's transition over to football with the Cubs. How did Jamboree win for you guys?
Well, I mean, the scoreboard didn't do me the way I wanted. But overall, I mean, it's the first time a lot of our kids have seen live action. So it's a great point where we can learn from it and try to grow. I think that Lockport is probably one of the more talented teams this year. I really do. I mean, going into what we saw last year and then building off of that, they have the size, they have some speed, they have, continuance with – I know Jacob Allen's not there anymore, but, Jacob Roby is doing a great job of just continuing that program where it needs to go. As far as what we did and what we didn't do, I think we went vanilla for the most part. We had to get a little creative there towards the end to try to tie it back up with not that much time remaining. I mean, the good thing is in 2 minutes, we ran a 2-minute drill, and you don't usually see that in middle school. So, I mean, we were able to come out and move the ball, execute, get into the end zone, just couldn't get that 2-point conversion to get the tie. But like I was saying, the Jamboree just kind of gives us where do we need to go from here, path.
Coach, you told me, I believe it was last season, that you guys were in the middle of like a culture shift where they had some internal issues in the past. How has that transition carried over into this year?
If you listen to my after-game speech, we're still in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We still have some growing up to do, especially with the players that, they were 6th and 7th graders before. Now they're in 8th grade role, and sometimes you don't really know what that means as an 8th grader. Like, you have to take that responsibility. All the kids are looking up towards you.
Sure.
So if you're the one that's not doing what they need to do, it just trickles down. And I think some of that, has come back to bite us in the butt, and I do what I can to preach to them. And sometimes a good butt whipping from Lockport is what we need. And it's something that's going to motivate us going forward. And I could tell you that on the bus ride home, that's all they talked about. That's what they wanted to use as our fuel going forward. We don't have that long to prepare for Golden Medal. And I know, Coach Brunet is got some great talent and some great size, and we don't have the biggest size this year. So we have our work cut out for us. I think that the team will either show up this week and do what they need to do to get ourselves in a position to win, or we'll be right back where we were a few years ago where, all we're doing is finger pointing. And, I think that's one of the things that racing goes through a lot. Where we have all the talent in the world, but we have a lot of kids who need more growing up than reps of, going out and running a slant route or anything like that. They need to grow up as young men.
And Jamboree-wise, it's probably a perfect time to get that message across where playing time is a good teaching tool where these kids, if they don't do it your way, they're not going to play.
Yes.
And I think that gets through kids quicker.
Yes. And, going back to what you were saying, Casey, when we talked last year, we dropped about 10 kids off the team, at a certain point after the LCO game. We had some issues on the field, off the field that we took care of, and it resulted in wins. And it resulted in kids, buying into the system. And what we're going to have to do is do that a little bit earlier on this season. And I don't think we're going to have to kick kids off or anything like that. But I do think that we have some maturing to do. And with that, I think success will come.
How does it work in middle school? Okay, like I know at the high school level, there would be huddle and there'd be all this stuff to try to get as much information on Golden Medal as humanly possible. They got a scrimmage Thursday. Do you go to that? Or how do you start preparing for an opponent that there's not a plethora of film on?
Yes, Bayou Sports has been a very great thing for me, especially whenever I can catch games and I have to travel up and down the Bayou. Sometimes, we used to do, game, we exchange game film with certain coaches. Jacob Allen and I had a great relationship, work at Central together. So anytime we played common opponents, Google Drive was actually a very good thing to upload film, click share, and that was easy. But a lot of it's a lot of legwork, going up and down the Bayou. Luckily, my schedule is going to allow me to go and see the schools I need to see prior to playing them. Sometimes if you watch a school too early, they're a completely different team at the end of the season. So it just depends. If you would have saw us at the beginning of the last season, you would have laughed. And, I don't need to waste time watching racing film. And then you get to play us, and then we hit you in the mouth, and, it goes to show. So, yeah, right now it's I'll be going down the Bayou this Thursday to kind of catch a little bit more of Golden Medal, and then from there I'll just be picking and choosing days to go visit some other schools.
Good deal.
Yeah, way back when I was coaching middle school football, I had Golden Medal. Every game was filmed. I would send somebody to every single game, and I would send them to Lockport to race, and it was just.
Did they go incognito? Some different.
Oh no, it's let them know we here.
Oh, okay.
Let them know we watch.
Put the paranoia in. I like that style too.
Why every Golden Medal game? What's so important about Golden Medal?
It's a big rival.
Go to LCO one day, and you're gonna know. One day you're gonna get your answer. Why? But Coach, talk to us about the quarters in middle school, 8-minute quarters. I mean, do you or I mean, I don't know if you're in favor of it or not, where maybe increasing that to 10?
I think it would be realistic to kind of get them ready more for high school, but our roster size doesn't help us with that sort of thing. So it's catch-22 with that stuff. I would love to have more time, especially when I play them down the Bayou Boys, and the clock becomes an issue real quick if you're not smart with the ball or the field position's not in your favor. But I think for right now, I think we're at a good time limit as far as middle school games go. I just think that if we had a roster size of what we had back in the 10 years ago, where our roster size was 50, 55 kids at Raceland Middle School, and now we're at 32. Damn. It's just it's a different time, different kids. The investment into football is not as much as Roblox or whatever video game they're into right now.
And I guess it's a combination of things where it's fewer and fewer kids that want to go out for football. They got so many other things that are offered to them.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of these kids play travel football too. I mean, I'm competing with way more than I have ever when it comes to time and where these kids put it. So it's tough, but hopefully in the future we'll kind of get that all figured out and go from there.
Coach Wiltz, you are also an assistant boys basketball coach at Central Lafourche. Be honest with me, every Friday night you're going to be saying a rosary, what you got to do to keep them boys healthy.
Yes.
I know you want to make sure that those football guys stay healthy this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, though, because this is a huge Raceland pack that is at the top of the Central Lafourche football team. I had a lot of fun coaching them, with Jeremy, Tyreek, Victor Ellison. I mean, I could go Robert Booty
Great
Day.
kids, man.
I mean, it's an awesome group, and we had a lot of fun. It was kind of the beginning of the resurgence for Raceland football was having that first group, because before that we had went through a winless season, and they brought us back, and I'm really excited and seeing what they could do Friday nights. Like you said, though, I hope they stay healthy when it comes to just getting through the football season and then getting to where I could coach them with basketball.
Well, it's a nervous time for a football basketball coach where, and it seems like the closer it gets to October.
It depends on what that record is, baby.
Yeah, it's like I remember a while back we had a kid that was hurt, and I went on the field and. Man, I'm grabbing his wrist and doing that. Okay, his shooting hand's good.
Shooting hand's good.
We're good there. But yeah, it's got to be a nervous feeling.
It is, but you can't go with that type of mindset. No. I mean, y'all know, like if we go with that mindset, only the worst is going to happen. So you just go in there and let the kids have fun. Hopefully they play the right way, and they don't go out there doing something silly like trying to jump over piles and stuff like that. That's the ones where you just like, all right, you got to be a little smarter than that.
How much has it helped at being kind of that liaison where you're at Raceland and also at Central, to where you could get those Raceland kids, get them eligible to be at Central and keep them playing sports at the high school level? How important has that been?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of our biggest bugaboos this last few years is like, the old Central has a state championship team walking in the hallways. And I believe that. I think that we have so much talent that doesn't actually make it onto the floor. So having me kind of that liaison, like you said, it does help. Coach Gage has got his hands full of trying to also help guide them young men to where they need to be. But that's all we can do. We need, I hate saying it, you need parents to also step up and help out as much as they can. It's a family. We're working together to try to raise these young men and women on the girls' side as much as we can. And, with, Pop doing what he's doing in football side, Gage, and then, at the middle school level, we're trying to get all these guys where they need to be. And there's all the opportunity in the world, and I hope that we can kind of figure this out going forward and not have so many kids slip through the cracks.
Coach, what the rest of the week looks like as far as football?
So we got practice Tuesday through Thursday. We're going to give the kids Friday off, but we're going to come back Saturday morning to get a good practice in. We're going to hopefully do 2 hours a day if the weather lets us. And the biggest thing that we're going to be going back to this week is kind of going back to the basics. It's always something I like to do after the jamboree is seeing what skills we need to kind of sharpen up, whether it be just, ball security, let's say, or, on the offensive line, we got to get in and out of our stances quicker and faster and moving in the right direction. We had one time where I don't know if y'all saw the Saints this past year when they had the two guards pulling to each other, and this is why Derek Carr retired. Well, I don't want to do the same thing, with our kids, making sure that they're going the right direction. So we're going to simplify some of the language to try to hopefully clean some of that stuff up. I got Casey over here cracking up a little bit or just shaking your head. But the truth is, it's like going back to the basics, clean that stuff up, get some conditioning in, and then prepare for gold medal because they're going to come and lay some thunder on us if we don't get ready for it.
And Casey loves it when people talk about the Saints because they off his trash Cowboys. So that's why he likes it, but that's a different story.
One joke question. Whenever the Roman Reigns theme plays on play-by-play, I put my hand in the air. Brian thinks I'm ridiculous. That's not a ridiculous thing to do, is it?
No, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Thank you. That's 2-1.
Well, 2 doyos.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm okay with that.
Well, look, Coach, thanks so much for the time. We're going to be back here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we have some good results.
Yeah, hopefully y'all have some good results. Good luck to the gold medal Lions, and looking forward to the matchup.
And that is next week?
September 10th. Well, so the following week.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Where at?
We're down the
Down
bayou.
the bayou.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
All right, that was Coach Alan Wiltz, AD and head football coach at Raceland Middle School. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to our final middle school. We're going to Bayou Blue. We'll talk some Gator athletics on the other side of this break right here on KLEB. back here to Beck's on the Bayou at 4293 LA1 in Raceland. We're going to talk some Bayou Blue Middle School athletics. We have Miss Harriet Savan joining us, talking some volleyball. Coach,
Hi,
how
are
we
you?
doing this evening?
Good.
Well, fill us in. How has the start to the season been for the Gators?
Our start has been slow. At the end of May, we had to give up our gym. We got our new floor. Our gym was completely redone. So we had very little summertime in the gym because we had no practice facility. The By Blue Rec gave us one night a week, so we did practice one night during the week to get ready for it. We did play summer ball at Thibodeau Middle summer, but we haven't really gotten started since the start of school. We've kind of been going hard, but summer was a little slow.
I have to ask you right away, how is it working for Andre Adams?
He's the best principal in the world. Best one ever.
I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked sometimes, but no.
We're kidding.
But yes,
We love
very
Andre.
much kidding. I know he's watching it in.
Yes, he is. He's started sending pictures already.
Yeah, good. So, Coach, when's the first game coming up?
So we've played one game so far. We played St. Mary's. We won. We beat them a few weeks ago. We were supposed to play last week, but that game got canceled. So we don't play till next week against Thibodeau Middle on the 8th.
And as far as scheduling games, is it tough to schedule middle school volleyball?
No, not really. Everybody wants to play. Terrebonne Parish is always looking to play. There's the Catholic schools around. They all have teams. So scheduling's not hard. It's harder for me because I have a daughter that plays at Central Lafourche. So I try to, juggle my games and her games. And those high schools play several days a week. So
Are y'all Holy Rosary, is they on the schedule? I know I think trying to get a team.
they are not on the schedule. A couple of teams had them scheduled and they canceled on them. I don't know if they had things come up or not, but we haven't played them.
Coach, it's been some really successful volleyball teams in years past, right? Have you guys not been like parish contenders the last couple of years?
Yes, we have. We've only lost 3 games in the last 3 years.
Wow.
So we've been doing very, very well. I have a young team. I only have 2 returners this year. So it's a work in progress, but we're going to get there.
And it's 6, 7, and 8 graders?
Yes.
Yeah. No, so are 6th graders allowed to participate? I know.
They are. So the way we have it set up in middle school is we have an A game and a B game. And the A game is what counts for the best 2 out of 3. And then we play one game to get the 6th graders and the younger kids some playing time. And it has really worked out well for us.
How many games you got scheduled?
We have 10 on our schedule. So we play our regular games, and then we've played St. Mary's and Oak Lawn. And I tried to schedule an extra game, but it got canceled.
And any tournaments?
We play in the Central Lafourche tournament. Thibodeau Middle has a tournament as well, but because of my daughter being at Central Lafourche, I try to follow her. I have 2 years left. After the next 2 years, we're going to play all the games. But
There you go.
right now, I'm trying to enjoy these last 2 years for her.
Love to hear that. And you said a young team. I'm sure it would have been one of those summers where you'd have wanted to be in the gym as much as possible. So I'm sure the gym situation was not bad timing, I guess.
It was bad timing, but boy, is it beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
came out so nice. They're proud of it. They're excited to play on it. We're thankful for it.
And it makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can have a nice place for them to play.
I mean, we had a nice place before. We're one of the youngest, the middle schools out there. But when they came in and said, the floor is damaged beyond repair, how do y'all want to design it? We were like, me and boss were like, okay, let's go. Let's go big with it.
And how important it is to have a boss where an athletic principal where he's all for sports.
He is all for it. Anything, he never says no for anything. If we can approach him athletically, he's in. He's in, and he's always there. And the kids can't wait to see him there. And it's just, he's one of a kind.
Yeah, because it helps when you have a principal who's like, find a way.
Right.
He's going to do it, but just find a way. And it has to make your life a lot easier.
Oh, definitely. I always, hey, how many years you have left? Because can you last a little bit longer? He's not going for it, though.
Yeah.
Look, Coach, we were chatting with Coach Mathern earlier in the show about just the growth of the sport as a whole in the area. Everybody's playing younger. They're playing more throughout the year. And I made the point earlier in the show, I think the middle school kids are as good as the high school JV kids used to be. Like, the talent level has elevated so much.
Oh, absolutely. It's travel ball.
Yeah.
They're playing year-round now. They're getting touches on the ball constantly, and it's made a huge difference. And I think just as coaches, I think we are all have grown with the sport. So,
Sure.
We're coaching at a higher level now than what we were once. I mean, when I first started coaching, it was because our other coach left and I was the AD, and I was like, okay, I have nobody. So I started on YouTube, and I learned from YouTube, and then my kids started playing. And so, I mean, I've grown with the team. So.
That's awesome.
And you mentioned growing with the team and with the sport. I know years back, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, volleyball players in the middle school were just
You played in a square, and and you just walked around in a square,
and
that's
it's
how you
almost
played.
how fast can you hit the ball back across?
Yep.
Have you seen it develop now where there's more strategy?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You see teams running in 5-1s and 6-2s, and you see you just see more of a rotation than it was just where you played in a little rectangle and walked around and hit the ball over. And I mean, we are always, when we first started, Edie White was always the team to beat. They were always, and when we won parish champs in 22 and we beat Edie White, it was like we won the world championship. I mean, it was it was an experience, and I mean, we beat them one other year other than that, and so that's always our goal, is to compete with Edie White.
Look, I know we have Coach Wells here to talk some Central Lafourche volleyball, but you mentioned 2022, a parish championship team. My math, those girls would be juniors and seniors now. Sounds like bright future for Central Lafourche too now.
They are, but that team fell apart. One of them had a back injury, and she got out of volleyball. One of them moved to Mandeville and went over there. So I sent my daughter, who she plays for Central, and I sent Central's little setter, which is actually Coach Vadros's daughter. So they're the only two that went on to Central Lafourche from that team.
What are some things that your team needs to work on to like kind of start the season, where you just had one game? What are some things you need to work on?
So timing with each other, because we haven't had a whole lot of time together since we didn't have summer ball. And I have two young little setters that we're running setting with, and I have my two returning girls. They are phenomenal. One just was on Bayou Sports, Kylie Smith. Kylie Smith has been playing some good volleyball, and Olivia Gomez. She's also they're real strong. So if we can set them the ball, if we can get the little young setters to get them the ball, they can put it down.
Very good. Hey, who do you open up the season with, Coach?
Thibodeau Middle.
Okay.
Which Coach Riley and I are good friends, and he never says they're good. I'm like, come on, Joe.
Oh, no, never.
But this
never.
year he told me,
Yeah.
he said, we're pretty good this year. I'm like, oh, man, that's going to be tough.
Oh, when they say they good,
Yeah.
yes.
Look out.
Yeah, I never would say that. Well, Coach, thanks so much for the time this evening.
All righty, thank you.
We'll try and get you back as many times as you can if there's no games. But
Yeah, we do play mostly on Monday nights, and if we're not playing a game, then we have a football game on the Monday. So
we just, if you can send us information or so we can get it out to the community.
Definitely. And I do all the parish records. So I can, like on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I usually do the parish records and send them out. I'll just add y'all in that email.
That's awesome.
That'll be
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right,
Thank
that
you.
was
Thank
Coach
you.
Savani, volleyball coach at Bayou Blue Middle School with the best principal around, right?
That's right.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk Gator football right after this on KLAB. Back to Inside Trojan Athletics. Coach Brian Collar here with Casey Gisclair. Let's go ahead and thank Mr. Henry Lafon, Lafourche Parish School Board Member, District 7, Regional Homes of Raceland, Gidry's AC, and Lafourche Parish Sheriff Craig Weber for being a sponsor and joining our team to bring you Trojan Athletics and middle school athletics. We'll continue with our middle schools where we have Coach Emil Barn of the Gator football team from Bayou Blue. Coach, how we doing?
We're doing good. Thank you for having me.
Coach, let's just talk about the last couple of years of your program. You started off and you kind of built it from ground up, and you can just see the success that these kids had and the confidence that was growing with them. And when y'all all put it together, I mean, it was a powerhouse. And these kids, they responded well.
Right, they did. They've taken on what we've taught, and they've taken it to another level. So that's what we're trying to do this year. Is we got a new group of kids coming into the program. They have to learn our ways of doing things, and so it's a challenge early on. You know, we saw that on Saturday that it's going to be a challenge for us, but these kids are really good, and they respond well to our coaching and what we're trying to teach them. So I think as the season goes on, they're going to elevate themselves and get a lot better.
How did the Jamboree go for you guys?
It went much like I expected. You know, we had a lot of new, young players, 6th, 7th graders. We mixed in with our experienced guys. So we did that in the first and second half just to get some of these players some experience, seeing who's going to rise to the top, who are going to be the guys who are going to be our competitors, who are going to compete. So we did that in the first half. We did that in the second half. And it's getting some of our 8th graders who are new to the program, didn't play the last couple years. We have some guys who are new to football who are athletes. So let's get them on the field, and let's, use what we've been taught since July and working through the summer and put it in the experience. So, there's ups, there's downs. There's good, bad, and ugly.
And talk about that process where you getting these guys that may not know exactly how to even get off a bus for a football game or to put the pads on, and you got to kind of maybe reteach or reinforce some of these things.
Like we'll start off. We went to Central last weekend and on Sunday, and what we do is we go through pregame. This is what our pregame warm-up looks like. This is what the football field of a high school looks like. I mean, they've seen it. They've never been on it. A lot of these kids. A lot of kids that will come from Bantam or TPR, they've played on shorter fields. They haven't been on the high school field. They haven't played in those things. So we bring them there. And this is what it looks like. And we ran a scrimmage between us. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is how we run plays in. This is how we stand on the side. So you're bringing them through a little step at a time, and you bring them.
And it has to help.
Yeah, it does. And you want to get them confidence.
Right.
That's the thing. You don't want them going out there and just be mind blown. So you have to have them build that confidence as they go through.
And you like at a middle school track meet for the first time. When these kids get out on the big track at the high school, it's kind of chaos sometimes.
Right. Oh, exactly.
Coach, with a younger group, how important was it that they are coming up into a program that has energy and that has had success? Because you don't want these 6th and 7th graders to be coming into a program that's coming off of an 0-7 season, and then they're all, but to have that expectation of, we win here, how important is that?
Oh, it is important. But also it is a new group.
Yeah.
And we have the guys who played last year have to be those leaders to instill this process that we have of making ourselves better throughout the season, elevating ourselves not from mediocre but to elite.
Sure.
And so those older guys that have been with us the last 2-3 years have to be those leaders to say, hey, this is how things are done. And we don't slack off from those things. We continue this path of to elevate and not to just stay mediocre.
Talk about your coaching staff. Shout these guys out.
We have Kelly McElroy, who's been with us for about 4 years now. He's been pretty much, understanding our program, been instrumental in what we're doing. We have Zach Petrie. This is his second year with us, and he's really doing a great job with our defense, really defensive-minded guy, and I'm more of an offensive-minded guy. He's more of a defensive-minded guy. So he's really bringing in some of the things he's learned, playing football at, various levels and bringing it to our program. And then we have a new coach this year, Hunter Marcel, who's a parent, who's come in and really helped us add another see some eyes from a different perspective to where we can see things.
And with Zachary Petrie, if he can coach the game the way he played it,
absolutely
tremendous.
Oh, yeah, and he does. He brings tremendous energy. He's a young guy.
Yes.
He's a young guy, and I'm turning 50 in next week, so it's it's like I try to bring energy, but it's like those younger guys, they come in, they have that energy, they're full of that energy, so it's like that's great. I love that for our team to be able to bring all that energy.
Well, Coach Wiltz, here we go. We're going to bring Belichick. That's kind of like Belichick tonight. No energy. He needs to find some young.
That's why you surround yourself with young, and it brings you, they bring that energy, and that's, and I like,
So that young gal gives them energy.
Hey, let me ask you this, Coach. One of the things I like about you guys is how diverse the offense is. We see a little spread. We see a little wing team. We see some run. We see some throw. With a younger group, do you have to scale that back a little bit?
You do early on. Now, I mean, we did some things last year, but the way I coach and the way I call is what the defense is going to give us. And I mean, if we run power the whole majority of the game because it's working, that's what we're going to do.
Sure.
If we run in this majority of the game, that's I don't just throw things out there just to throw it out there. It's our offense is built upon leverage. And what we see that can get us an advantage on what the defense is doing.
Sure. Coming up, what's the rest of the week look like for the Gators?
It's a busy one. So we have practice tomorrow through Friday, and then we have a game against the Cache Montague on Monday. So that's going to be another good stepping stone for us. We had, I look at it as preseason games. Seeing where we are, landmarks. So we had the jamboree. So we look at where we are, we look at that, and now we fix what we need to fix, and then we move on to the next game, and this will be another preseason type game to where we can see, are we improving? What do we need to improve on after that one? Then we have 3 days later, on the Thursday we have September 11th. We have Thibodeau, tough game for us, and then Lockport the next Monday. So really got three games in 8 days.
Wow, and that's what question. Now, talk about that short turnaround where you may play on a Thursday, then your next game can be on a Monday.
So we'll practice on the Sunday. We just need to be ready, and it's a mental thing. I think physically we'll be okay. I just think it's a mental thing to where you have to be prepared for what the next team's going to do. So the Friday when we come in, it's not like a normal Friday for us. It's going to be, because normally our Fridays are walkthrough days, workout days, film days. We'll do that on Friday. Well, that Friday is not going to be that day. It's going to be, hey, we got to prepare for Lockport. And then we come on Sunday as another walkthrough, preparing for Lockport, and it's time to go.
Coach, the first thing I was thinking whenever you were talking about your youth was special teams. In middle school, that is so vitally important. How far can you kick the ball down the field? How effective can you be punting the football? Those little things. Are you confident that your special teams crew could get the job done this year?
Yeah, we actually found a kicker last week, and when we started, one of our linemen, and he's like, yeah, I played soccer and I could kick. It's like, okay.
There you go.
You got the job, bud.
You're hired.
Here we go. So when we set everything up for special teams, and then that worked itself out. And, for us, for special teams, we want speed, especially on kickoff. And on kick return, we want hands guys, just to be ready for that. So we look for those guys, hands guys, speed, for our special teams.
And what Casey was bringing up with special teams, such a big part of middle school.
Absolutely.
Do y'all rep that like every day in practice?
So what we normally do, I won't start special teams until like the week before the jamboree because we're working a lot of the offense and defense, new things happening. And you could kind of, I won't say get by with it, but you can manage it throughout the jamboree.
Sure.
Now this week we'll start doing it every defensive day. We're repping so it's an every other day. Sometimes it's an everyday thing, depending on how we're doing with it.
You guys have that, as you said, preseason game where you play a non-parish game. That gives you a little bit of a leg up, right, to get that kind of extra jamboree, so to speak?
Right. It gets us film on what, and we can show the guys, like, look, this is where we are. These are the things that we're doing great. These are the things that we want to keep doing, and these are the things that we have to clean up.
Yeah.
If we don't do these things, then we're going to struggle. So that's having those games, and we have two of them this year that, one in the middle of the year against CCA that we're going to play too. And it's a great opportunity for our younger guys who have been working to get on the field. So that game is going to be for our younger guys. And we did that last year also against LaCache Montague.
Health-wise, team's looking good?
Health-wise, we're doing well. We're actually up in numbers. This is the first year I didn't actually make a cut. So we started out with around 50. I think we're at about 46 right now. And I think we're at about 20 eighth graders. And
wow.
Yeah, so
That's
think
good, man.
Yeah, it's good. It is good. Now with these eighth graders, a lot of them are new, so they're still kind of going through the process of learning what we do in Bayou Blue.
Awesome.
Well, we just see that North Carolina scored.
Oh, straight down the field like clockwork for old Bill.
Oh, there we go. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Well, thank y'all.
I know it's a busy week for you guys, and when y'all come back on here in a couple of weeks, hopefully we get some good Gator football reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to get the season started. It's always an exciting part of the year, football and the, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and whatever nights we're playing on, which is a mixture. It's always exciting to have football all the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have you guys on KLEB a couple of times this year. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank y'all so
all right.
much.
That
Thanks,
was Coach
bud.
Emil Bourne. Thanks so much for the time. Does a great job, him and his staff.
Sure
and
does.
Look, he mentioned Zachary Petrie as a Bayou boy. Does a great job. And Coach Kelly, he just relates to the kids. I mean, it's a great relationship with them.
Got a good mix. Got some different style of those young coaches. Like you said, Kelly, brings that fire and that tempo too, but it says just a different relationship, and I think you need some of that.
All right, we'll take a break, and we got some Lady Trojan volleyball coming up on the other side of this break. Keep it right here on KLEB. Back to Inside Trojan Athletic. Coach Brian Colley here with Casey Gisclair. We had Bex on the Bayou. Come out and join us. We can hear for another 45 minutes or so.
Yep.
4293 LA1 in Raceland. Come by, stop by, have a drink, and talk some Trojan athletics. Next, we have Coach Brittany Wells, head volleyball coach at Central Lafourche. Coach, how we doing this evening?
We're good. How are y'all?
Fine. Thanks for joining us here. I know on this Labor Day, kind of maybe no school and practice maybe early.
Oh, yeah.
So thank y'all so much for coming back and spending some time with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk to the season. Y'all got a big start coming up tomorrow.
Absolutely. We starting off with Haynes Academy. I mean, this is the big dogs, you know. We've been preparing, kind of seeing what we could do. We had the jamboree last Thursday. Met up with Edie White, which was a challenge. Gave us a run for our money. But we got to see what we can do. We are still with some injuries right now, so going to be a little different game for us to at least start the season. But looking forward to it.
And what you know about Haynes Academy? Like besides that, they won it last year. They had a lot returning.
So they graduated quite a few kids, but major pieces are still there. Big middle that we need to definitely get our hands on some blocks tomorrow, as far as that goes, and definitely they're still there. They're capable of moving that ball around where you're watching one direction and it's being shot the other way. So we have to be on our toes and ready to go.
And with high school volleyball, if you're watching film, kind of what you actually looking for? Like what do you look for on film when you scout an opponent?
We're looking to see where they're moving that ball. You know, a lot of teams are shooting the ball to the outsides, the pins, as we call it. Not so much movement in the middle anymore. You're seeing more hitters from that outside, that right side. So we're looking to see that. We're looking to see where the gaps are defensively. Are they running a perimeter defense where they're around the entire court, leaving that middle open for us to have opportunity? We're looking at everything. You know, can the setter dump? Are they running a 6-2? Are they running a 5-1? What's actually on the court?
So there's a lot you can get off of film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coach, talk about the summer. It used to be you would show up the first day of school, kind of get rolling. Maybe a couple weeks before that, you'd have a jamboree, then you'd play. You're just coming off of a summer season where you've played a whole season's worth of games. How important is that to kind of know, hey, where there are holes in the boat and what you have to fix before the PowerPoints start adding up?
You definitely have to see what you're capable of. Exactly that. We have to see. I put it this way: the girls are constantly in movement of different positions, and we're flexible. We're diverse. So a hitter might play a middle position for us, and then an outside position the next day. Working up through the summer, you can at least play with those scenarios to see what's going to be the best fit for us. Just like preparing for any game, we're looking at where are we going to need the biggest hitter that we have on our team. Are they going to be better on the outside to attack? Are they better in the middle? Just the dynamics of it. So.
And as far as different opponents, let's just talk about your schedule coming up. I know PowerPoints is that's the game. You got to get your PowerPoint. So schedule-wise, you get a mixture.
We do. We have a mixture. Again, we have Haynes right off the back at the beginning of the season. We are going straight into Assumption's tournament this coming weekend as well, where we're going to see Morgan City, a team we saw repeatedly over this summer. We're going to play against Prairieville as well, and then the Saturday would determine on what we do on the Thursday. We've kind of, I don't want to say lessened the power teams, but kind of backed off knowing coming into this season. I was originally only going to end up with 2 seniors. We had a transfer come in as a 3rd senior. We lost a big hitter last year, Cortland Smith. So dynamics needed to change a little bit, lessen the load. Kind of going to see if that lesser amount of games is going to be beneficial for us.
Coach, talk to me about those tournament games because it's a little different in volleyball. It would be as if like football had a 3-quarter game. Y'all play the best of 3 in the tournament. So it's a greater sense of urgency, I'm sure, especially for a younger team. Like, hey, we got to get off of the bus and we got to be ready to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your mindset has to be volleyball, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed the opportunity to play that 3 out of 5. So the urgency is there. 2 out of 3. If you end up going into that 3rd set, it's critical. You know, it's way different. It's It's way different.
Would you rather? You rather the 5 games or the tournament 3?
Tournament, I prefer the 2 out of 3 just because you're playing so many at one time.
Yeah.
If you look in the course of 2 days, you're either playing 4 to 5 matches. So it can definitely wear down, and especially if you're in kind of our boat where we have a few injuries right now, it definitely changes the dynamic.
See, I like the tournament games if I win the first 2. Then I'm in favor of it.
Right.
So schedule-wise, it is a mixture. Again, how many tournaments do you play?
So this season we're in 4. We've got Assumption, we have CCA. Last year we were fortunate. We traveled out to Benton, and they gave us some mega PowerPoints playing some top division teams. Exposed us some PowerPoints there, but unfortunately we are not going back there. They did not host their tournament again this year. I'm trying to think who else we've got. We've got Central Catholic, and we closed the season with Bell Chase tournament. So.
How much volleyball has changed from when you were playing? I mean, you came through a top program.
Absolutely.
How much have you seen the game change?
It's way faster. It's way faster. More dynamic, more movement than we had when we were in high school. We had the basics, outside set, middle set, right side. We didn't run much piggybacks. We didn't do those things. So you see the tempo of the game has definitely sped up.
And how you relate that to your kids, like in practice? How do you get that worked on?
Trying to pick up the pace, right? Everything, every ball has a purpose. Whether it's a fast-paced tempo that we have to pick it up, and the girls know. I'm gonna put this out there. They know any free ball that's opportunity to come over, we have to go. We have to run it quick. If we don't run it quick, that we lost our opportunity. So it's definitely changed.
Coach, going on the road tomorrow, facing a defending state champion in Haynes Academy. What are some of the keys? What's going to be your message when you're looking those girls in the eye right before they're taking the floor? What are some of the things Brittany Wells is going to be telling to her players to make sure they're ready to go?
Honestly, play our game.
Yeah.
Play our game. That's it. Don't worry about who our opponent is on the other side and their name. We have a tendency to do that. We just have to go and show up and play our match, listen to our defenders who can see the court, listen to our coaches, plan out everything as far as, hey, this hole's open, let's try until we fail, We'll make adjustments as we need to with our lineups, and we'll go from there.
And speaking of your coaches, you have a full staff?
I do. I have Stacy Delott, who's been with me for the last 11 years, and I have John Bro, who came aboard. This will be his 3rd season with us.
Good.
Yeah, good deal. Talk about, we've chatted with some of the volleyball coaches in the area about districts. Y'all have 5 district matches, but that's going to be just such a small portion of what's going to be a 30, 35, 40 match schedule. Is there a scenario where you think districts may be a thing in the past?
It's crazy to think about, but yes. And I think that's where, a lot of us, we used to have the dual round.
Yep.
2 rounds, you'd play, you could win one, you'd lose one. Now that it's down to 1 round, it's kind of all or nothing.
Yep.
With it. It's given us a different dynamic to focus on those outside games as well to get those PowerPoints. So it is definitely different.
How's the rest of this week work and into next week for the Lady Trojans?
So, like I said, we're up against Haynes tomorrow. We've got practice on Wednesday. We're going to hit the books just to prep and get ready for Thursday's competition with Morgan City and Prairieville. Like I said, we've been given at least the opportunity to see Morgan City. Prairieville is a brand new school, so we played them, I believe, last year. Kind of lower end team, but you never know what to expect. They could have taken this entire time and worked on things that they absolutely need. So again, we just need to show up and play our game. Going into the following week, we're prepping. That's it. We've got to stay on our toes and be ready and healthy.
That's the main thing.
Yes.
Healthy.
Yes.
Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Absolutely.
Best of luck this year, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully with some positive results.
Absolutely. I thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. That's Coach Brittany Wells. Does a great job out at Central Foods. Her volleyball team has been consistent in making the playoffs last few years.
They sure have. Excited for them. They got a really fun schedule. They're going to be challenged. They're playing, Vanderbilt, Haynes Academy, South Lafourche. They're going to be challenged, but it's going to be fun. I think that they're going to be up to that challenge and look forward to seeing how they compete.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we're talking Trojan football with Coach Pop right after this on KLAB. Back to Inside Trojan Athletics. Coach Brian Colley here with Casey Gisclair. We had Bex for about another half hour with 4293 LA1 in Raceland. Come by, stop by, have a drink, and let's talk some Trojan football with Coach Pop. Coach, how we doing this evening?
Oh, good. Enjoying everything. Busy, but you know how that is.
Time of the year.
Yeah, yes, sir. A little depressed, but I'm going to get over it.
I was about ready to start doing it.
I know you were going to bring it up, so I just want to get it out the way.
Well, look, we're going to see somebody take an elbow to the stomach if he keeps up with that. That's
He brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything.
I know.
bad enough. We got to hear it. But Coach, you'll come off an exciting Jamboree game, ended in a tie, 22-all. I think you blocked a game-tying field goal or game-winning field goal.
Yes, man, it was a great game. That's what high school football is all about. It went down to the last minute, and called a timeout. Told the boys, "Look, this is what we playing for. I know it's not a win or anything like that, but just show what kind of heart and soul you got there, and that's what we go for. We just go to the last play and go to the whistle stops, and that's what I'm trying to teach all my boys."
On that play, as soon as the ball is blocked, I was convinced Central Lafourche was going to have a good season because the whole sideline erupted. You guys got that buy-in, man. Talk about that, because everybody was fired up on that.
Yeah, I've been there 29 years, but this is my third year going into the head coaching, and I've been coaching it forever. And I think the boys are buying in. They see I'm trying to bring that discipline to them. I'm an old schooler. Yeah. I bring all that discipline to them, tell them yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all of that. Yes, sir, no, use their manners, and teach them all that. And I'm just trying to get them to be like a family, like over in it. And they're buying into that. And they show up for practice. They do the work. They do everything that we ask of them. And that's probably why I never left. People ask me, how you been there so long? Because, man, it's the community, the kids, it's something like down the bike. They just all together, and that's what they want, that family life, and that's what we try to provide for them.
These little things make a difference, and it's going to get you to block a field goal at the end.
Yes.
How close were y'all from returning that?
We were very close.
Yeah.
Carter, the little linebacker, Carter picked it up. And we had, honestly, like about 3 or 4 faster guys, but hey, it is what it is. And he tripped over the one last guy, because if you look at the film and you stop it, when he blocked it and we picked it up, we had 10 of us around us, and the whole South Terrebonne crew was on the ground. They had 2 left, and he accidentally – well, he made a good play on it, but they tackled him, and like you said, could have handed it off, but hey, Carter was ready to get in. We did a good job, though. Like all together, overall, I was pretty impressed with everything.
What are some things that you came away pleased with after that Jamboree performance?
Jeremy Cleveland, our quarterback. Coach Dugas doing a great job with him, putting him in positions to make some plays. Of course, we all know he's not a drop back quarterback. He's athletic. That's what pretty much everybody does today. Yeah. And he's putting all of those plays in there for him to be successful. And we're gonna ride on him the whole year. And he has some talent around him, and that's helping out also with it. We have Tariq, we have Jordan, we have 3 Reese, we have a bunch of receivers that he can get it. And then we have a big fullback with Alex, and we have Robert Day back there. So our offense, that's our strong point right now.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up is y'all got pieces around him, but
yes, sir.
Talk about your receivers, because the Assumption scrimmage, y'all were going over the top, but they ran some good routes and catching the football.
Yes, yeah. They've been playing with us for 3 years. Now we senior in on offense, so they've been playing with us. They know the system. They know how to run the routes. Jordan, probably one of the top athletes we got, Jordan Mason. Tariq does a great job with it, and we have 2 young guys, sophomores, Reese and Cyrus, and they're learning it. And I guess the thing we got to improve on is our offense line. We lost a good bit last year, but we're not as big, like I've told y'all, but I think we're just as athletic, if not more, this up front. And we don't have any seniors on the O-line, so.
That's a good problem.
Yes.
That's good there. But talk about the big back y'all have.
Yeah, Alex, yes, sir. Alex Rossoni, he does a great job, phenomenal job for us. He knows the system, he knows where he got hurt toward the end of the year last year, so he's back and he knows how to do it. And him and Tamara and Crane are going to find those holes, and they might be small, but they'll pop out of there and just get it like we want.
Coach, I remember last year we had Dennis Gaines on, a defensive coach like yourself, and he said man, I'm at Cecilia and it's driving me crazy. My offense is ahead of my defense, and as a defensive coach, it's driving me nuts. You're a defensive coach. What do you tell those younger guys? Was there some days in practice where the offense is probably getting the better of them, but you also got to realize that offense they're facing is pretty damn good.
Right, yes, sir. Yeah. And that's what I tell them. Look, there's going to be some teams out there better, but we have to. This is what we want to go against so we can get better at that. If we play our offense and we beat them up on it every day, then we know that offense needs help out. But now with the defense, we have 2 returners, Victor and Journey, and that's a lot. We lost a lot last year. But they're coming around. They're fighting. They're working hard. We got guys competing every day, and that's what I tell them. You compete, and that's what it's all about.
Coach, practice-wise, I know it's been hot. I don't think it's been as hot as last year, but it's still hot. And how have you guys juggled the practice situation?
It's been difficult for us. We've switched up. We were at 4:30, sometimes 2:30, sometimes 5 o'clock, sometimes just depending on the weather, like you said. But look, the kids are great with it. They're doing everything we ask of them, getting there on time, working it. And that's the big thing. For them to adjust to that kind of thing, I know we're doing the right thing because now they there, they don't miss, and they don't have excuses. Back when we were down, we had excuses all the time, and that's what I tell them. If it means something to you, you go find a way to be there, and they doing that.
But that's a little thing that makes a big difference, just how you adjust to it, because you're going to get adversity throughout the year. How you adjust to you're ready for practice. Oh, nope, we got to go back inside for a while. It does make a big difference if they can adjust to it the right way.
Oh, yeah. Look, we've been around it, and it's changed over the years. Used to get frustrated with it, but now I know it's for the right reason. Tommy does his job, and the kids, that's what I tell them all the time. I guess I'm old schooler, so I try to preach to them there's adversity in life. There's things you're going to have to do. It's not always going to be up. You have some downtime, and you got to learn how to just move and go on to the next thing. And that's what we do every day. And I preach to them, do your job, and if everybody does their job, everything's going to come together. Don't worry about what he's doing. Do your job. Let him do his job, and then everything's going to be there.
Then with that wet bulb, you're talking – old school. Have you seen yourself when the trainer comes in and says, "Oh, y'all can't practice"? In a situation, I'm gonna tell you a little story. I told Casey earlier where I was over there at South with the AD, and trainer says, "You can't practice. It's too hot." Well, I said, "Give me that thing." I took it and I went to find an area on the field where
and some trees on.
Yes,
I try.
I said, "Look, it's fine. We can practice."
Yeah, I try. Tommy kind of puts me on the back hold. Bob, leave it alone. I'm like, well, don't put it on the turf. Go put it on the trees or something where it's a little cooler. But no, he does a good job. And like I said, you just got to adjust to it. And that's what it's just for the safety of the kids. It's just times have changed.
Absolutely.
The culture, everything has changed. So you got to be able to adjust to those kind of things. And that's what I try to preach to my kids. Look, it's not always going to be fun. You have some down things, like I just said, and that's part of it.
Yeah, and
last year, I think our first time we got in full gear was for the Jamboree.
Wow.
So it was rough last year.
Goodness.
And look, I'll tell BJ Young does a great job of this where he doesn't get rattled. I've seen certain instances where trainer would come in and tell the coach they couldn't practice, and he would blow against
like a fight, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then the kids started, not even knowing what, and kids started. If the coach reacts positive
That's right.
at practice, that's going to – and in a game, it's the same thing.
The same thing.
When something comes up that's unexpected, the coach handles it well, his players will.
Yes, and that's I guess I had to learn that, over the years, because you had to change your style of coaching. You had to change everything. Back in the days where we'd threw it in the ditch.
Oh my God!
But
along
now,
with whoever's holding it.
That's right. So that's why I said you just got to adapt to everything that's going on. It's just changed the last 5 years at least. Yeah. I mean, big time, and you've been in it. You know how it was and how it is now. It's changed, but the kids see that, like you say.
Coach, all summer long, it's okay. We're focused on Central Lafourche, getting better inward. Now you have an opponent to prepare for. You got film on Vanderbilt. For the kids, that's probably good for them, right? To just kind of break the monotony. You have an opponent to prepare for, and it's not so much us versus us. To have like an actual goal in mind. Of Friday, we're facing this team. This is what they do. sure the boys are probably a little inspired by that.
Oh
right?
yeah, we were happy Friday. Just hit somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they were all nervous, quiet. We were quiet. I was like, guys, once you get that first hit, you're gonna be okay. Just play, because I have a bunch of guys that's new. They all playing for the first time, and like once you get that first hit in, it's gonna be okay. Now that we got Vanderbilt, we have film. We prepared for them today. You know, we taught them everything today, and like I said, tomorrow it should be a little bit quicker. You shouldn't have to get it, but then Wednesday should be there, and then Thursday when we go to walkthrough, it should be. You shouldn't have no questions.
Yep.
You should know everything they're doing, and the Vanderbilt, they good this year. I mean, they're going to be good this year. Coach Brian does a great job with them. So they could go in there and just come out with a W.
And what you're seeing with Vanderbilt, I mean, they obviously lose Coleman,
but they big up front, like the O-line. I think that's their strength. Their O-line, they're pretty good now, and they have another back that's there, and I'm sure that he was a sophomore. I don't know if y'all saw him last. But big old boy, and he runs the offense, you know, to it, what they trying to do. On the defensive side, they lost a good bit, but they're a solid program. So
Brian and I talked about this a couple weeks ago in play-by-play, where when you're preparing to play a game on grass, now everybody has a turf, and we just kind of take it for granted. Will you have a day this week? It's supposed to be a dry week, knock on wood. Will you have a day this week where you get the guys on grass at some point?
No, not really. We played Central Catholic last year. Now, last year we did because it was raining.
Yeah.
We played Central Catholic, so one day it rained all week. We went on the grass that week. But now that you say that, we looked at it and it's going to be dry. So we're not going to go on the grass this week just because it's dry. Now, if it had been like last year and we had to prepare like in the mud and everything, it's a little different. So last year we did that, but not this year. We're not going to do that. Hopefully it doesn't rain. And everybody be like, yeah. But like you said, everybody has it. But you know, sometimes you just you're going to play on grass. Not every school has turf.
Yep. Look, Vanderbilt Stadium is the closest thing to turf.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They keep it up good. I mean, you know that. I mean, that's why I say that's why I don't feel we need to go on the grass, because their field is just like turf.
To get out of the jamboree and to be going into the season, and again, I'm knocking on wood, pretty close to fully healthy. For you guys and the staff and for the boys in the locker room, that's got to be such a relief, as you guys have been bitten by just such a wicked injury bug the last few years.
Yeah, the last couple of years, man, especially with Jeremy, the last 2 years. If you remember, it was a tight game last year with Vanderbilt, and then he got hurt. And they kind of opened it up. We had to put Marvin in there, and we kind of limited. Coach Dugas was kind of limited, so we ran the ball a lot more, couldn't pass as much. And it changed the game plan.
Yep.
You know, you can practice it, but when you get in the game and something happens like that, the kids have got to step up and do it. And it's a little culture shock, you know. But hey, I think what we're doing now is going to help us.
Yep.
Even if we do get some injuries, we have some guys we've been practicing that all the time.
How much of, I guess, I'm going to use the word relief it is to have a guy as a coordinator who was a head coach before, that now he's running your offense, that you don't even have to worry. You know it's going to get done.
Look, my first year, I was offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams. We had I was one of them, but we had 5 coaches. Probably one of the hardest years I ever done in 29 years. Now that I have Chris with me, look, I don't even worry about it. He tells me what we're doing, of course, but I just give it to him and look, this is your puppy. Do it, whatever he's got to do, and I don't worry about it. And look, it's so much better, Brian. You know that if you get somebody like that, you're lucky, and they don't come too. Look, because these days they don't have that many anymore. All the older ones are getting out. The younger generation is kind of coming in, but nobody's in teaching anymore. So it's hard to get those coaches and teachers, if you say, involved in it. It's hard these days, man. But to have somebody like that come in, I can't explain how happy I am for that.
And look, when I've always say especially when with football, a coach, I think calling plays has to get in a rhythm. Yeah. And when he's in a rhythm with Cleveland, that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, they do a good job. Like I said, I know last 2 years I know Jeremy got hurt, but when they hitting, they clicking, it is. And Chris does a phenomenal job. And he just knows. He was something like when Coach Menard was with me. They've been doing it so long. They know it. They know the game plan. They know everything. They sticking to it. And it's there.
Yep.
I'm the special teams guy. I always ask, can you guys make field goals, or do you trust your punter? Tell us about your special teams.
Special teams, this year we had Jacob Parker come from Vanderbilt. He played at Nichols, linebacker. He's doing our special teams for us. And we have George Hurley and Jordan Mason, the senior. He's a soccer guy. Both of them are soccer guys. So Jordan last week put in the end zone twice. So, you don't usually see that in high school.
Big difference.
Big difference. And he can put it where we want. George is a younger guy, but he does the same thing. He doesn't have a strong leg, but he's accurate with everything. So we do have two guys that can do it. And the big H-back, Alex, actually punts for us. Him and Jordan, they split time. But especially we spend a good deal on special teams. I think that's important because that's one of the three phases of the game that you want to win.
Absolutely.
And if you don't get the turnover margins, you want to win the offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, well, back when Coach Menard was at Central, I mean, his
my
special
goodness.
teams.
Hey, look. You had to prepare for it.
Yes.
And that's where I learned it from because he would always say, Pop, we faking a jamboree in week one. We're doing everything we can that way, which kind of made sense. Like, that way teams got to prepare for it.
Yep.
They better put in a practice schedule time to prepare for it because if you don't, then that's why we used to run it so much.
Yep.
And that's where I guess I got my mentality from because last year I want to say on punt, I think Zach had he was 8 out of 10. We faked it 8 out of 10 times. And
Wow.
And we've got it. I mean, it was because we had Big Zach and JP and all.
I
them.
say it helped you had a mule running the ball.
Exactly. So and it was all about the numbers game, and that's I guess what I learned. That's what we do.
Coach, thanks so much for the
Yes,
time.
absolutely.
Best of luck.
Yes,
Week
sir.
1 at Vanderbilt. I'm sure we're going to most likely have you on Saturday morning.
Yes.
And we're going to be back here in a couple of weeks and
All right.
keep promoting Trojan Athletics.
Hey, look, I appreciate everything. Look, this was a great idea when you came to me about it. This is phenomenal. Like, because there's nobody else that do it no more. And I appreciate everything y'all doing for us, and not just me football, but for Central Lafourche. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
brother.
we're definitely going to do it without two. And look, we don't forget about the middle schools.
Yes,
They are
that's
a
that's
big,
something.
big
Look, they were a
part.
little nervous, but like I told them, I said, "Look, just go up there and talk.
That's
You're
it.
gonna be okay." I've done it with them a bunch of times. They talking. It's just think about friends talking to each other, and that's what it's all about.
That's what it
and
is.
And that's what we need. Like now, because back when I first started, they had everybody.
Yep.
They had Chris and all them, and now there's nobody.
Yep.
And y'all the only ones, and I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, best of luck this
Yes, sir.
Friday.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
that was Pop Vedros, head football coach, Central Lafourche High School. They got a game. I think it's a winnable game. It's going
It's a
to
big
be
game. It's going to be a fun one.
You know, when you're playing against a Vanderbilt team, they're going to be well coached, but the Trojans are coming in well coached also. So that's going to be a great ball game on Friday. Let's go ahead and take our last break. When we get back, we're going to talk some Trojan swimming right here on Inside Trojan Athletics,
Get that right, Brian.
right here on KLEB. And welcome back to Inside Trojan Athletics here on KLAB. Again, you can go back and stream our interviews on our Coastal Broadcasting YouTube channel. Just go search on YouTube, Coastal Broadcasting Network. Should bring you the link. You can go back and listen.
I want to say something real quick before we get to our swim coach. Coach Pop was mentioning at the end how we had some middle school coaches and they were a little nervous, whatever. All of our coaches today were incredible, man. Like, I mean that. Like, everybody brought something to the table. Like, everybody spoke really, really well today. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And they get to talk about their program.
Absolutely.
Man, that's big. All right, our last guest of the evening, Coach Barry Plaisance of Central Lafourche High School, swim coach. Coach, how we doing?
We're doing fine. Thank y'all for having us here.
We were talking a little off air about number-wise, and you mentioned the numbers may be a little down, but it's some quality kids.
Yeah, we have 9 boys and 9 girls, which is up from last year on the boys' side, but down a little bit on the girls' side. But we do definitely have an upgrade in our quality of swimmers.
And, Coach, swimming, how y'all, first of all, where y'all practice?
We practice in Lockport. There's a small 2-lane pool that we practice in for now, and we kind of cram it in, but we get it in 2 practices every day.
And is it like after school hours or?
Yeah, we do 3:30 to 4:45, and then another secondary practice of 4:45 to 6. I have a lot of dual sport athletes, so we have to share them, and it works out.
Yeah, that was my next question. I'm sure you have a lot of people playing different sports.
Oh, yeah. We have anywhere from volleyball all the way to cheerleading and dance team as well.
So you got to work around all
of them. Soccer, we kind of before soccer season, but it kind of all goes together. But we make it work.
Big first meet tomorrow. What are some things you're looking for from your swimmers?
Yeah, big meet tomorrow, our first swim meet of the year. I'm looking for our kids to we look different right now. We are stronger. We're faster than last year. Again, our depth is better. I think we have 6, 7 on both sides, boys and girls. I think quite a few of them could get qualified tomorrow for the state meet in November. So I'm looking for them to get the pressure off their back and really kind of take us to a whole different direction. We have good leadership. We only have 1 senior, but we have good junior leadership, and they're pushing us in the right direction.
And do you see that where you mentioned pressure on a kid where if the first meet or second meet they don't qualify, they're starting to get a little nervous?
Oh, definitely. They start putting the pressure on themselves. I don't have to put any pressure. They can feel it. They know it. They have 7 chances to make it. But after the first 2 or 3, they start building it on themselves, and they start really pressing, and they don't need to do that. If they're that good, they're going to make it. But they've been working hard all summer. I mean, they've been lifting weights, and we strive to look different, and we do. That was the goal. We need to look different.
Hey, Coach, it's a great segue to my question. Over the summer, we know the football players lift, the basketball players lift. Swimming, how do you guys get physically fit? Is it core training? Like, how does a swimmer get ready for the year?
The positive part about swimming is we have a long summer swim league locally. A lot of our kids swim either in LaRose or Thibodeau, some in cutoff, some in Chauvin. We kind of have a little bit of everything on our central swim team. But they do swim hard all summer. We transition to more of they come with me in the summer instead of their own swim team, so we got to really get a good eye on them. That way the first meet tomorrow, I'm going to place them in something that they could qualify in immediately. That was the goal. But as far as strength training, they don't do much strength training in the summer because it's so tough.
Sure.
Swimming's tough.
Yeah, it is.
But at the end of the day, we've got them to do poolside exercises along with swimming. And between the 2 of them, kind of some dry land and of course, in swimming. I mean, we upped our swim from last year. We roughly swam about 2,000 yards a day to this summer and transition into high school, about 2,500 to 2,600. A lot more sprinting, so we've transitioned to that point.
When you mentioned swimming's tough, I agree with that 100%. Back when I was playing high school basketball, I thought I was in shape, running every day and this and that. And I had a buddy, his mom was the head swim coach, and he said, just come to one of our practices.
How'd that go?
I almost drowned. I mean, That's tough.
Yeah, we're very young. Again, we took last year we had 8 seniors. This year we have 1. But we transition into ourselves. We're very young. Again, I have a lot of 9th graders. I have 3 of them that have never swam. 1 boy, 2 girls. 1 boy, 2 boys, 1 girl. I'm sorry, and they have never swam. One of which is going to swim the 500-yard freestyle tomorrow, the longest event.
Wow.
She's a long-distance runner. She does cross-country. She does the 800, the 1,600 in the high school season. But these 2 boys have dropped 20 seconds on their freestyle in a matter of 4 months.
Dang.
And so they're going to help us big time.
Coach, where do you find the swimmers? And what I mean by that is, football players, they have middle school football. Basketball players is middle school basketball. There's no middle school swimming. So do you go and scout those youth levels and try to make sure that when they get to Central, they're coming to you?
Yeah, so I help coach in the summer. I've been helping out in Lockport, but for the Thibodeau Tiger Sharks. But what we've been able to do is, since going to the meet and being involved in the meets, I could actually see a swimmer from, even if it's a different team, might be Chauvin. I know that she or he will be coming to Central at some point. So, but what has happened is I'm starting to coach their brothers and sisters at 8 and 10 years old. So I'm starting to see that transition where we kind of already set, where we kind of could push them forward quickly.
Awesome.
Now, when you're sitting at home and you're trying to figure out, I'm going to put this kid in this event, this one, to get the most points for your team, do you see yourself maybe after a couple of meets where you can maximize those points?
Absolutely. It's a lot of strategy. Putting the kids in the right position for them to get qualified is the number one thing. But putting them in position to score points, maximum amount of points, is also important for the normal meet. But I don't look at these as meets. These are more like qualifiers for our kids. And so the individual events, I'm looking to place them in the right position and really maximize their effort. But also to spread them out in the event. You'll automatically qualify for the state, but it's the individual events that really could make a difference.
Last question for me, Coach. We had Coach Corey Colley on last week on Inside Tarpon Athletics, and he was saying the one thing he likes a lot about swimming is the camaraderie that all the teams have with one another. If one of your swimmers breaks a PR tomorrow, the South Lafourche kids are going to be high-fiving them and fist bumping them as well. Just talk about that camaraderie. Like, swimming is one big family. I know everybody's trying to win, but it is also one big family.
It's very competitive, but it's a very small community.
Yeah.
It's a limited amount of kids who actually do it all summer and in high school. Obviously, when we have 18, South Lafourche might have 25, 26. Thibodeau might have the same thing. It's very limited, but these guys, men and women, they swim against each other all year long. So, yeah, they're going to be happy for each other. One thing different with our guys and girls right now is they're just very competitive. They're competitive with themselves. So I'm looking to see that transition into something competitive, what we look like. Again, we want it to look different, so being competitive outside of that as well.
Sure. How many meets y'all have over the course of the season?
So we have 7, meets or qualifiers, one of which is the district championship, which we've never won. Central Lafourche has never won a district championship in swimming, and we have our eyes on it. If our kids continue on and continue to compete and continue to practice, I think we have a shot, legitimate. But we have 7 total meets, including the district championship.
And the district meet, and what month is that?
Yeah.
That's when that water's starting to get cold.
Yeah, the good part is it'll be at Thibodeau Regional. It's usually I think it's October 20th this year, where it's going to be inside a building. As long as the state championship is for us Division II, which will be November 21st and 22nd inside a building as well. The challenge for us is October 20th to November 21st, you have to swim somewhere, where it's fairly warm. So sometimes we have to go to the Y, or hopefully a good day, a good warm day, we can get outside in the pool.
Yeah, because my question is, how do you motivate these kids to get in that pool when it's freezing?
It's tough. It's tough. We have to get master motivators at that point, and know when it's time. You might not be able to swim for an hour and a half. You might get 20, 30 minutes, and that's it. So, you really got to manage that.
Touching my toe in that water, and I'm out.
Yes.
Swim kids are tough. I have to give them credit. Our kids are tough. We have, Avery Belanger, Lexi Grauber, 2 ninth grade swimmers. These 2 girls are 2 of the best swimmers that have ever passed through Central. They have a lot to look forward to. These girls are fast. On the boys' side, we have a couple guys that are going to definitely get qualified. They're motivated to get qualified. And, again, these guys, they feed off of each other. Our boys and girls, they definitely feed off each other. And we have a really good group, a core group of juniors that come back that the young ones are learning from. And these meets are different than the summer swim meets. They happen very fast. A summer swim meet might take 4 hours. These might take an hour and a half. It's very quick. The turnaround's fast.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this year and coming out here on a Labor Day evening. I know it's not the easiest, but we really do appreciate you joining us.
Sure do.
We're looking forward to tomorrow. Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Barry Plaisance, the swim coach from Central Lafourche Trojans. Casey, that's going to put a pin in this show, and I believe it went pretty well. Like you mentioned,
good,
we had these middle school coaches coming on and spoke highly of their teams, and our coverage is starting, man. We're on. We're gonna be back this week, Friday, at Thibodeau High.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, it's on.
It is on. It is that time of the year, week 1 of the high school season, week 1 of the volleyball season, week 1 of the swim season. Cross country starts Saturday. I mean, anything you could ask for and more as a high school sports fan. We are here, and we've got games that are starting to count.
One more time, let's thank our sponsors, Bex on the Bayou, State Representative District 55, Mr. Brian Fontenot, Como Plumbing, A1 Bail Bonds of Louisiana, Raceland Auto Center, Lafourche Parish Sheriff Craig Weber, Gidry's AC, Regional Homes of Raceland, and Mr. Henry Lafon, Lafourche Parish School Board Member, District 7. Our next Inside Trojan Athletics show will be on Monday, September 15th. We're going to be right back here at Bex on the Bayou. On Monday, we're going to be spars at the station for Inside Tarpon Athletics. For Casey Gisclair and Mr. Jason Plaisance back at the studio, and for Truck on the camera and the computer, it's Coach Brian Colley wishing you all a very good evening. Be safe.